G'day folks. Today I want to talk about negative people and the one brilliant trait they have. Because a lot of people, they don't put too much thought into negative people other than they're just negative. They're always negative. They've got nothing good to say. Everything's crap, you know. But they have this one brilliant trait, and that is resilience. Because you see, they're not born negative. They have to develop this skill over years and years and years and years of trying their hardest to do something time and time again, and no matter how hard they try, no matter what they do, it never works out like they've planned. And this teaches them through sheer experience and evidence that why bother? Things suck. It never works out. It's too hard. It's going to be shit. All that stuff. So they don't just come up with this negative attitude all by themselves. They learn it and they develop it from experience, from trying time and time and time again, and things not working out. And after years of this, they become so tired of this pattern, so exhausted, so disheartened, that they think, why even bother in the first place? Why even start? Why even try? I've got 20 years of evidence that tells me that there's no point. So they develop this habit, this way of thinking, purely through evidence. They don't make it up. In their life, this is how they experience things. Now the person who has everything, so you know, they've got plenty of money and a nice house and a good career and money for holidays and good relationships and all that stuff, they haven't had this same pattern of events throughout their life. Now it doesn't mean that the so-called successful person hasn't tried hard and had failures and had things that have not worked out and, you know, fought their way through terrible situations, whatever that might be. It just means that the successful person, they haven't had the same number of events. They've had hard times, but things have come out okay. They've tried something and it's been extremely difficult, but in the end it's worked out. Or like, there's a whole bunch of things that prove that the successful or happy person hasn't been through the same steps as a negative person. They've had things that have worked out, where the negative person has been through the same things in many cases as that successful person, but it hasn't worked out in the way that they had hoped it to. It hasn't worked out in the way that they had hoped. So this is the difference between a positive person and a negative. The positive person, in one way or another, despite all their efforts and their troubles and their all the bad stuff, in one way or another, it's kind of worked out in the end. And the negative person, it just hasn't worked out. It just, no matter what they try, it doesn't work. And they think, what's the point? They've learnt this pattern through evidence. So instead of saying to the negative person, why don't you just try and be negative? Why don't you just try and be more happy? Instead think of, why are they like this? Because they can't just think happy, or they can, but it's fake, because they need the evidence. They need something to work. They need to try something and then get a reward. Try something and get a reward of some sort. And if you don't get the reward, saying to someone who's negative, just be more positive, it's a pointless sentence, because they're not going to believe you, because they have the proof that they are feeling like they are because of the evidence they've got. So the solution on how to fix this, and it's not easy, because for the negative person you have to go against everything you believe, and these things that you believe them because you have evidence to believe it. So you have to go against all this, and you have to start developing a new habit. But you won't get a new habit by doing the same thing you've done in the past, because the same thing in the past has got you the results that you got in order to make you believe what you now believe. So the first thing you have to do is stop doing what you've always been doing, because that's probably in 99.9% of the cases not going to give you a different result. You have to stop doing what you're doing and start doing things that you've never done before if you want a result that you've never had. The second thing you have to do is eliminate all negative people and all negative situations and all things that aggravate you, because if you don't, it's just going to reinforce the pattern that things suck and it's not going to work and he's a prick and I hate doing that and all this other stuff. So you can try to like things that you don't like, and you can try to like people that you don't like, but you can't really. You can't. Deep down you're faking it because you don't like it, or you don't like this, you don't like that. So eliminate all the people and all the things that aggravate you. The third thing you have to do is stop doing what you think you should be doing, and start doing what you feel you should be doing. There's a big difference here, because somebody will tell you, or society will tell you, you have to do, you have to do, you have to do, you have to do. But if you don't feel like doing these things, if you don't feel like doing them, or you don't want to do them, then you're going against the grain of yourself. And this is not going to make you happy, and it's going to send you in a direction that society wants to take you, which is fine, but that might not be the direction that you want to go that will make you happy. So stop doing what you think you should be doing and start doing, regardless, no matter how ridiculous it is, or how ridiculous you think it is, it won't be ridiculous. You have to start doing what you feel you should be doing, and you'll get amazing results just from that. The fourth thing is to learn new skills. Learn things you don't know that will help steer you in the direction you want to go. Because obviously now there's something you don't know. Otherwise you'd be getting the results that you really want to get. So you have to learn new skills. Find out what you don't know. Find out what the people that are doing what you want to be doing know, and start learning that, because you won't get any new results with the information that you know now, because that information that you know now is getting you this, which is what you don't want, which is why you're negative. And the fifth thing you have to do, it's kind of the same as the fourth, but don't be afraid. You want to have, this is your goal, but don't be afraid to, instead of going there in a straight line, you need to think about it like a sailor and his boat. He knows where he wants to go, but he's relying on the wind and the currents, and he knows, it doesn't aggravate him, it doesn't upset him, but he knows that he has to go this way, and then this way, and then this way. So 99% of the time, he's kind of slightly off course, but he's still heading in the direction he wants to go. So know where you want to go. Don't be upset if you have to put the ship on pause for a second. Learn a new skill, come back in a month or 3 weeks or 2 days, however long it takes you to learn this new thing. Learn the new skill and then go back on track, and learn the new skill and go back on track. Learn from people that have already done what you want to achieve. Learn the skills they have, learn how they've done it, and keep track of where you want to go. And this thing, remember, it is not necessarily what everyone says you should be doing. It's what you feel like you should be doing, or what you feel like the direction you want to go and where you want to head, because this is what's going to make you happy. So keep all those things in mind. I hope it makes a little bit of sense. And remember, if you find or meet someone that's always negative, understand why their perspective on things is negative. It's because they've tried and tried and tried, and things haven't worked yet. But you also must remember, before I forget, that negative people, they have experienced and learnt things that successful people probably will never learn. That's a little bit of a weird sentence, but they have learnt resilience. No matter what, no matter what, no matter what, no matter what, no matter how hard it is sucked or how tired they get and they can't be bothered, that they always get up and try again, no matter how much of a waste of time they think it is, when a lot of people may have just quit. The negative people mostly keep going no matter what, but they develop this habit where, oh, it's just going to be hard again, why bother, it's never going to work, but they always keep trying in the end. So remember that negative people are like that because of what they've learnt through evidence from trying and trying and trying and trying again. But you need to change your pattern, change the way you do things in those 5 steps I mentioned. Not easy, but it'll go a long way into turning your negativity into something a lot more positive. See you next time. Well, there you go, folks. If you've got any thoughts or suggestions on what I've just shared, put them in the comment section below. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I'll see you soon in the next video.